So I just wanted to kind of start off with a bit of refresher on the combination product development overview. And here we're covering the development pathway of medicinal product and device from kind of the traditional development processes. Now, some people may have seen this slide, I think, from earlier presentations. So just to give you a refresher, put some context around how we're discussing. You know, one of the challenges when you're doing these combinatory therapy development cycles is that you have medicinal therapy development and you have device therapy development, you have biologic development processes, and they don't always line up. You know, they may have different timeline development, they may have different kind of phase gate reviews, and they each seek different time points. And you notice in the question we had previously, those were characterized in the context of traditional drug clinical trial phases, not necessarily within the context of necessarily device development per se. So, you know, we take a look at these, you can see medicinal products, we typically have a discovery phase, development, you know, launch, life cycle management. We'll have those traditional clinical trial phases. The device life cycle management, you know, you have your concept, you have feasibility and development. That's a much more iterative process and validation. As you see from the arrow below, you go through that cycle multiple times throughout development for a device. And so when you're going through every iteration of that, you're going to be repeating that over and over and over again as you iterate your device. Now, a simple device may have less iterations, but you will be kind of cycling through that design control process throughout the life cycle of here. And that's kind of got to fit within each round of clinical trial that you want to use your device in. So this all needs to happen all kind of within that development arm of the medicinal product phase within the drug life cycle management. Now, in order to kind of squeeze all that into the medicinal product, the planning kind of has to start much earlier within medicinal product development. So the earlier we can start that, the earlier we can start characterizing, we can understand what type of combination product we need, what those inputs are, what those user needs are, what type of, you know, holistic solution we need to supply to the patient, what's going to be important, what's our reimbursement strategy. You know, the better we're going to be prepared to get that done right the first time. And so the more we can kind of pull that together, create that integrated solution, pull the teams together, the more successful we're going to be later down the road. What a lot of organizations don't realize is they just kind of grab something, creates fragmented and siloed approaches, and then you end up kind of just trying to squeeze something in at the last minute. So really, you know, creating and pulling that forward. So those companies that are starting to think about that, maybe they don't have it all solved during that, you know, preclinical or phase one, but they're at least thinking about it. They're getting those questions, they're incorporating it to their market research, to their initial user needs, to their clinical study design and that early clinical studies. Those are the companies that have those successful, you know, combination product studies in those phase 2, phase 3 studies, and successful commercial launches as a holistic, you know, combination product, combination therapy. It becomes even more critical when we start looking at these complex therapies, when we're not just talking about a traditional drug and syringe, when we start talking about these, you know, complex therapies, when we have a lot more pieces pulling together.